After all, you are not married yet. You don't even know what love means, do you?
She was richer than everyone in that room. Yet the one thing she couldn't buy was the one thing everyone judged her for. Jasmine was 35, young, wealthy, and beautiful in a way that turned heads even in rooms full of power. She was the kind of woman people noticed before she even spoke, not just because of her elegance, but because of the quiet authority she carried. A disciplined mind wrapped in luxury, a soft heart protected by strict boundaries. Jasmine owned a thriving real estate empire on the island. Luxury houses, high-end developments, exotic cars that matched her lifestyle. She had everything money could buy. Everything except what people kept reminding her she didn't have: a husband. She was the first daughter in a polygamous family and her mother's only child. From a young age, she had learned how to survive pressure. Pressure from family, from society, from expectations she never agreed to but could not escape. As her two friends, Jasmine was the only one still unmarried, and that fact never went unnoticed. Men found her intimidating, not because she was unkind, but because she was too composed, too intelligent, too self-assured. Many could not even hold her gaze for long. She wasn't the type you approached carelessly. She was the type you respected or avoided. But beneath that strong exterior, Jasmine was still human. She was kind. She was loving. She gave generously to family and employees alike. But she did not tolerate nonsense, not from anyone. And yet, despite all her success and strength, she remained single. At first, she told herself it didn't matter. Then the comments began to settle in. Subtle at first, then louder. Her mother, who was 58, grew more vocal with each passing year.
Jasmine, all my friends are becoming grandmothers. What about me? I need to carry my own grandchildren before I leave this world.
And then there was Janet. Janet, her stepsister, was 30, married with 2 beautiful children. But marriage had changed her tone. She had become bold, sometimes disrespectful, especially when tension rose between them. During arguments, Janet would always strike where it hurt most.
After all, you are not married yet. You don't even know what love means, do you?
You travel to Dubai this week, Canada next week, Janet once added sharply. One day, you will end up marrying your cars and houses. Those words pierced deeper than Jasmine ever admitted. Alone in her mansion, she would sit in silence longer than she cared to admit. Some nights, she cried herself to sleep like a child. Soft, broken tears no one ever saw. She began to question everything. Was she too focused? Too independent? Too successful for love? Sometimes she even blamed herself for being rich, as though her wealth had become a barrier between her and happiness. Yet, the same woman who broke down in private was the same woman holding her entire family together financially. The breadwinner, the backbone, the one everyone ran to when life got difficult. And still, all they saw was what she lacked: a husband, a child. Her mother's voice often echoed in her head.
Jasmine, all my friends are becoming grandmothers. What about me? I need to carry my own grandchildren before I leave this world.
Until one day, something shifted. It started casually, a conversation with one of her friends over dinner. There are dating apps now, her friend had said with a teasing smile. Even people like you can try. Just don't use your real name or picture. Jasmine had laughed at first. The idea felt foreign, almost absurd. But that night, alone in her bedroom, silence pressed harder than usual, and she did something unexpected. She downloaded the app. No real name, no real picture, just curiosity disguised as courage. Within 10 minutes, her phone lit up with notifications, messages, likes, interest from strangers who knew nothing about her. No wealth, no status, no pressure, just her. For a moment, she stared at the screen, unsure whether to laugh or delete everything. Then she saw it. A match that felt different. And against her usual judgment, she accepted the first date. Now she was sitting in a quiet, upscale restaurant, her heart beating slightly faster than usual. She adjusted her outfit, took a slow breath, and looked around. That was when she saw him. And she froze. Because what stood in front of her was not what she expected at all. The man standing at the entrance wasn't a stranger. He was tall, handsome, and dressed in a perfectly tailored navy blue suit. As his eyes searched the room and landed on hers, he stopped walking. For a brief moment, the entire restaurant seemed to disappear. His confident smile faded. Shock replaced it.
No, Jasmine whispered almost inaudibly. It can't be. The man stared at her in complete disbelief before slowly making his way toward her table. Every step brought back memories Jasmine had spent years trying to bury. 5 years. 5 long years. And yet, she would recognize him anywhere. Williams. The man she had once planned to spend forever with. He finally stood before her. His lips parted slightly. Jasmine? She looked up at him, unable to find her voice. Williams? Neither of them moved. Neither of them knew whether to hug each other or walk away. Finally, Williams let out a nervous laugh. So, you're the lady I've been chatting with. Jasmine looked down at her phone and smiled faintly. I guess I am. Williams shook his head in disbelief. Of all the people in Lagos, it had to be you. For the first time since entering the restaurant, Jasmine laughed. It was soft, awkward,
but genuine. Williams pulled out the chair opposite her. May I? She nodded. The waiter approached.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am. What would you like to order?
I think we'll need a few more minutes.
Silence settled between them. Not an uncomfortable silence. A familiar one. It was Williams who finally broke it.
You've changed.
So have you.
I honestly thought I'd never see you again.
Another silence. Then Williams looked directly into her eyes. I owe you an apology. Jasmine lowered her gaze. She had imagined this moment countless times. Yet now that it was happening, she didn't know how to respond. I wasn't fair to you, Williams continued quietly.
I wasn't fair to you. I thought your business meant more to you than I did. I convinced myself there would never be room for me in your life.
Williams, I was building a future.
Our future.
I wanted us to have a comfortable life. I just needed you to be patient.
I understand that now. But back then, I was insecure. I thought one day I'd become the husband people laughed at.
Jasmine looked at him with sadness. You never told me. I was too proud. For a moment, neither of them spoke. The food arrived. Neither of them touched it. Instead, they talked about the years they had spent apart, about the dreams they had chased, about the mistakes they wished they could undo. Williams shared how he had struggled to establish himself after they separated. Jasmine talked about the sleepless nights that built her real estate company from a small office into one of the biggest farms on Lagos Island. You actually did it, Williams said proudly. You achieved everything you talked about. Jasmine smiled modestly. It wasn't easy, I can imagine. Then he looked around the elegant restaurant. You've done well for yourself. She smiled. God has been kind. Hours passed like minutes. For the first time in years, Jasmine felt something she hadn't felt in a long time. Peace. As they walked toward the parking lot, Williams hesitated.
I know this may sound strange, but I'd like to see you again.
I'd like that too.
Coffee dates became dinner dates. Dinner dates became long evening walks. Soon they found themselves laughing over things only they understood. It felt as though life was giving them another chance. One afternoon, Williams insisted on dropping Jasmine home. As his car approached the gates, security officers immediately opened them. His eyes widened. The driveway stretched endlessly. Luxury cars lined both sides. The mansion stood like a palace. He looked at Jasmine.
You live here?
It's home.
Wow. Wow.
Williams couldn't hide his surprise. Later that evening, curiosity got the better of him. He searched for Jasmine's company online. The articles left him speechless. Youngest female real estate mogul of the year. CEO behind Lagos's fastest growing luxury estates. Businesswoman worth hundreds of millions. Williams sat quietly for several minutes. He smiled to himself. So this is what you've become.
A few days later, he met up with 3 close friends at a lounge. One of them noticed his unusually cheerful mood. "My guy, what's making you smile like someone who just won the lottery?" Williams laughed. "I reconnected with someone." "Who?" "My ex." "The one you almost married?" Williams nodded. His friends exchanged surprised looks. "What happened?" "We met by coincidence. On a dating app." The table erupted in laughter. "No way!" Williams smiled. "It still feels unreal." "So, what's she doing now?" Williams hesitated. "She owns a real estate company." One friend whistled. "Is she doing well?" Williams smiled. "Very well." "How well?" Williams looked at them. "Let's just see. She's richer than all of us combined." Silence. Then another round of laughter. "My brother, you've won the jackpot." Another friend leaned closer. "If I were you, I'd never let her go again." Williams shook his head immediately. "That's not why I'm with her. I still love Jasmine." His friend smiled. "We know, but don't be foolish either. A wife with money should make her husband's life easier." Williams ignored the comment. "I didn't come back because of her money. I came back because I never stopped loving her." His friends looked at one another. One of them quietly muttered, "We'll see." Those words echoed in his mind. A wife with money should make her husband's life easier. He tried to push them away. But once an idea enters the mind, it rarely leaves without a fight. Meanwhile, Jasmine lay in bed with a smile on her face. Her mother noticed the change immediately. "You've been smiling all week." Jasmine laughed. "Have I?" Her mother sat beside her. "Is there someone?" Jasmine looked away shyly. "There is." Tears immediately filled her mother's eyes. "I've prayed for this day." Jasmine held her mother's hand. "This time, I think love has finally found me." Little did she know, love wasn't the only thing that had found her. Something else had quietly begun its journey into her life. Something that would test her heart, her marriage, and everything she had worked so hard to build. The weeks that followed felt like a dream. Jasmine and Williams became inseparable. They went on dinner dates, took long evening drives, and spent hours talking about the years they had lost. It felt as though life had given them another chance. One evening, while having dinner by the waterfront, Williams looked at Jasmine and smiled. "I've spent the last 5 years regretting the day I walked away from you." Jasmine looked at him quietly. "I thought you stopped loving me." Williams shook his head. "I never stopped. I was just too proud to admit I was insecure. I thought your business would always come before me." Jasmine sighed. "I wasn't building a business, Williams. I was building our future." For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then William gently held her hand. "I'm sorry, Jasmine. If I could go back, I'd choose you over my pride." A smile slowly appeared on Jasmine's face.
For the first time in years, the pain in her heart began to fade. Days turned into weeks and their love grew stronger. Williams met Jasmine's mother, who welcomed him warmly. "I've prayed for this day," she said with tears in her eyes. "Please don't hurt my daughter again."
"I won't, Ma," Williams replied sincerely. A few weeks later, Williams invited Jasmine to a quiet beach. As they admired the sunset, he suddenly went down on one knee.
5 years ago, I lost the best thing that ever happened to me, Jasmine. Will you marry me?
Yes, I'll marry you.
When Jasmine shared the news with her 3 closest friends, they celebrated with her. But after the excitement, Diana became serious.
Jasmine, are you sure you're not rushing this? He broke your heart once. People make mistakes, Diana. I believe he's changed.
Her friends looked at each other, but said nothing more. They only hoped Jasmine was right. A few days later, Williams met his friends at a lounge and told them he was getting married. "So, your ex is now one of the richest women in Lagos?" one of them asked. Williams nodded. His friends laughed. "My guy, you've really hit the jackpot." Another friend leaned closer.
Just make sure you don't keep living in her shadow. Once she's your wife, build something for yourself too. I love Jasmine. That's all that matters.
4 months into their marriage, everything seemed perfect. Jasmine loved Williams with all her heart. She took care of the home, supported him emotionally, and even extended her kindness to his family. To her, marriage was a partnership, and she was willing to give her all. But one evening, Williams returned home looking unusually troubled. He barely greeted Jasmine before sinking into the living room sofa. "Williams, what's wrong?" Jasmine asked, sitting beside him. He sighed deeply. "I'm tired." "Tired of what?" He hesitated before speaking. "I'm tired of being ridiculed." Jasmine frowned. "What happened?" "Today, some colleagues laughed at me. They said I had the biggest wedding in Lagos and married one of the richest women in the country. Yet, I don't even own a car. Someone even mocked me for living in my wife's house instead of bringing his wife into his own." He lowered his head in embarrassment. "I've never felt so humiliated." Jasmine gently held his hand. "You should have told me earlier." Williams forced a smile. "I didn't want to burden you." Jasmine smiled warmly. "You're my husband. Your burden is my burden." A week later, she surprised him with a brand new luxury SUV. Williams was overwhelmed with joy. "Babe, are you serious?" Jasmine laughed. "You deserve it." From that day, everything slowly began to change. The new car attracted attention wherever Williams went. His confidence grew, and so did his social life. He started spending more evenings with friends at exclusive lounges and nightclubs. One Friday night, while hanging out with his friends, a beautiful young woman walked into the lounge. She was confident, charming, and knew exactly how to command attention.
Hi, it's Story Girl Africa. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos.